How did the Prophet ﷺ, through his sunnah, show us how to deal with the youth? Particularly, I know you were mentioning Ali
Mm.
radiallahu anhu. If you could tell us a little bit more,
Sure.
about Ali.
Yeah, so I mentioned how he gave him roles and responsibilities, but I don't want anyone to think that, the Prophet ﷺ, he's the leader and he commands the orders and the youth are there to listen. No, he had a relationship with them.
No.
He had like a friendly relationship with them, and the youth even they can open up to the Prophet ﷺ. I'll give you an example. Ali was known to be courageous, brave. He's very confident. But one thing he wasn't confident about is that he actually liked Fatima radiallahu anha and wanted to marry her, but he was too afraid to tell the Prophet alayhi salam. He was too shy.
Yes.
So Ali would plan to meet the Prophet alayhi salam, and in his mind he wants to propose. Okay, but he knows he's young, he doesn't have much money, right? And this is the Prophet alayhi salam, this is the father. I can't just open up this topic.
No.
And know that the Arabs at that time, they have what you call a ghira, jealousy. You can't just speak about someone's daughter like that,
Yes.
right? But look at the Prophet alayhi salam, la haya fi din. There's no shyness in matters that are halal and good. So every time Ali will come to visit the Prophet, he wants to open up this topic, but he will change his mind, right? Then the Prophet realized, Prophet alayhi salam realized. So rather than making it more awkward for him, he made it easier for him. And he had a feeling that he knows what he wants to say. So he kind of facilitated that conversation indirectly. So when Ali radiallahu anh finally, admitted and spoke about the matter, the Prophet alayhi salam, he smiled. Sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he smiled. So imagine, you're proposing, and the father, he gets angry. He has a strict face. You're going to get afraid.
Of course.
But what if the father, he smiles at you? Yeah. So Ali became comfortable.
He instilled confidence, isn't it?
Confidence. But the Prophet ﷺ did not give him an answer. Why? Because he wanted to consult Fatima radiallahu anha. And this is amazing because this shows that he was also a good father to his daughter who was also young. These days we have fathers who say to their daughters, you marry who I tell you to marry. You marry this guy because I like him, not who you like. So that they either force, or they're either completely sometimes heedless of the fact that he needs to help his daughter get married. Rather than daughter finding her own husband, you need to look for the best husbands for your daughters. And this is what the Prophet ﷺ, he got the best people for his daughters, like Uthman radiallahu anh for one of his daughters, like Ali, like people from the best lineage but the best deen. He didn't care about the lineage or the money, he cared about the deen. So he went to Fatima radiallahu anh and he said, your cousin Ali is interested in marriage. What do you think? So Fatima, she stayed quiet. And now when a woman, Arab woman at that time in particular, stays quiet, it means yes. Because, the women at that time, they had hayat, they had modesty. Yeah, so this was known, it was their custom. If the woman stays quiet, that means it's not a no, it's a yes.
Does that apply to our times?
Does it apply? I don't know, I don't think so.
Allah understand.
Sorry, to add to that,
No.
the Prophet was happy, and he told Ali, and Ali was so happy, right? But Ali didn't have money. So the Prophet made it easy. He didn't say, no, I need 1,000 dirhams. Today we need $10,000, 10,000 pounds, mahr. Get me the mahr before you come. Get a car, get a house, get yourself ready. My daughter's not cheap.
Yes.
No, he didn't have a house. He didn't have money. And guess what? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he made the mahr cheap. He actually helped facilitate and organize the wedding. He got Abu Bakr and Umar to come and say a speech, and they had feast, food, and said some words, and it was a happy day for the Prophet ﷺ. To add to that, the Prophet ﷺ, he wanted them to live close to him. So he helped them buy land and build a house right next to him. To add to that even more, he will go visit them regularly. He will go to their house, visit them, check up on them. Even if they have like an issue between them, he will try to, solve it, try to get their, hearts always together. To add to that even more, he loved their children.
Sallallahu
He
alayhi
loved
wasallam.
his grandchildren. He will visit them. He will play with them. So this is our Prophet ﷺ with young
Sallallahu alayhi
people.
wasallam.
You know, if it's his grandchildren or children, he eased the marriage. He regularly checked up on them. This is the role model that we need today. You know, help young people get married to the right people, make things easy for them.
SubhanAllah, message to the parents, a powerful message to
Yeah.
the parents, so rather being a source of maybe an obstacle or the problem between the two spouses. No, it should be a source of solution, a source of inspiration towards the two young people who just started their life, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.